As I'm preparing for the holidays this year, Thanksgiving and Christmas 2023, I'm just thinking a lot about the past. Times when I didn't know about the life model, before the life model, 10 plus years ago, and before I was in a place of emotional stability, holidays were just really tough, really tough experiences. And there was all this excitement, I remember, before the holiday of, oh, let's plan the meals and let's think about what we're going to buy for one another and how we're going to do this. And then when the family would get together, there would just be this sense of maybe overstimulation, unresolved family issues coming to the surface, and just not knowing exactly how to or what to do about those things, wanting to love each other, but not really having the skills or the capacity to manage the difficulty. And I think on top of that, there was just maybe a lot of work that was going on, especially when I had small children in the home and everybody's having different expectations and things that they want, and just a lot of times feeling like, this wasn't what I hoped it would be, and it was disappointing. And maybe there's moments of beauty and connection, but overall going away from those experiences feeling a sense of disappointment or sadness, just wanting it to be better than it was and not knowing what exactly to do about it. So in this episode, I would like to talk about life model and the holidays, how we can apply the model to our holiday experiences and really experience all that we can with the people that we love, who we want to be close to, and experience the depth of connection with God in that space as well. So in American culture, we celebrate Thanksgiving, we celebrate Christmas and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, all kind of together. We get this like a month and a half of just a lot of energy. And I know for a lot of people, holidays may not be times of celebration. They may be times of sadness because of family members who aren't there anymore, or because there never has been close belonging. Some people are completely alone and don't have that space to share with others. And I think holidays can be very sad. I don't think that's lost on us, especially us as therapists. It's not lost on us that can be a very difficult time and experience for many people. So that is something I want to say here at the beginning, just to identify it's important. It's important that many people struggle emotionally during the holidays, and we want to think about that experience as not just some people, but maybe a lot of people. And so understanding from a life model perspective that one of the things we want to do as people, as therapists, and as people who are trying to practice relational belonging in the world, we want to identify that a lot of people are struggling and be really sensitive and observant, aware of the people who are suffering and what they might need, and how we can really be there for them, what God might be calling us to do to be aware of the suffering of those around us and not just so consumed with our own sense of experience. The other thing that I think that is important, the kind of the takeaways I'm having from the life model concepts and how I can apply them in my personal life as I prepare for the holidays. Number one is the idea of tenderness to weakness. That I want to be able to connect with the idea of tenderness to my own weakness and tenderness to the weaknesses of others. I think the story I told at the beginning, I wasn't as connected to my own rhythms In Life Model Thrive Track 1 training, we talk about the rhythms of joy and rest. I wasn't giving myself enough space maybe to rest. I was just in overdrive and just going, trying to do. And now understanding that that's not healthy, whether it's a sense of getting the gifts purchased or feeling the pressure of what type of gifts to get and the amount to spend, or thinking about the meal and preparing it. There's just a sense sometimes of a lot of pressure that we experience as especially as mothers, I think, but fathers can maybe come at it from a different perspective. But just in our culture around these things, there's a lot of pressure. So it's like this idea of tenderness to weakness is always the rule, which we've talked about in the previous episodes. It is really great to apply here. I want to be tender to my own weaknesses as I realize I'm not superhuman. I can only do so much for so many people at this season. And really, I want to stand back and say, what is the point of doing this? What is the point of having this holiday celebration? Is it so that I can accomplish something or impress someone or impress my own children, or is it just to be together? And that leads me to the second point here, and that is, I think it's so important at times like this to appreciate the communities of belonging that we have developed. Who are the people you are going to spend Thanksgiving with? Who are the people that you are going to spend Christmas with? Who are the people that God has put in your life? And really thinking about that space that's been created and taking up an opportunity to nurture and develop that belonging next level, I think is so important. And as we are considering Life Model and the holidays, belonging is the most important thing in terms of appreciating that, applying the concepts of belonging, and really doing the work to cultivate more and more belonging in our lives. And so who are those people? And sometimes the people that we have belonging with aren't super easy people to have belonging with. It might be a bit of a struggle, of a tough thing, but that puts us right in the transformation zone. And so it gives us this opportunity to kind of grow and kind of acknowledge who we are and how we experience other people and what that's bringing up for us and what work we might need to do. But remember, the interactive presence of God creates shalom. And so even as I'm in tough situations, maybe with family members or other people I'm spending holiday time with, or even in the being alone, there's a sense of the interactive presence of God creates shalom. I have opportunity in each situation to interact with Jesus and to hear what he has to say to me about myself and about these relationships and how to grow in my own maturity, my own capacity as I'm in this setting. And so these are some of the things I'm thinking about with Life Model and the holidays, but there's also a third point that I wanted to make just around the idea of what it means to bond with people instead of bonding to food and material items. So Life Model does talk about that a lot as well, how in our culture it's easy for us to use materialism and even food as a behavior, experience, event, person, or substance that distracts us from our attachment pain. And we know the holidays are full of sugar and gifts and lights, bells and whistles and music and delicious foods and lots of material things. And when that replaces our longing and need for connection relationally, then those things can be beeps, they can be addictions in our lives. However, if we utilize the delicious foods and the material items as ways to bond and connect with others, that is really where the beauty is. one of the things that we've started to do in our belonging groups is utilize the gifts in a different way. There is a challenge, and this actually comes from Ed Curry's Connexus curriculum on belonging. There's a challenge to, in your group, bring everyone a gift that is under $1. And so I have many groups. Some are in the here in my counseling office, and others are social groups that I have developed with people who want to learn more about Life Model, and they're outside of my office and my personal relationships. And what we do every year is we come up, everybody in the group comes up with a gift that is $1 or less, that represents either identity, group identity, or individual identity for each person, or a sense of belonging and what it means to belong to one another. And the gifts have to be under $1. And one of my good friends who's a therapist, she said to me last year, these have become my favorite gifts of the season. And it's so interesting when I conceptualize that we can give each other expensive gifts, and we can ask for all these things at Christmas, even with our children. But really, the most meaningful gifts are those that reflect accurate identity to someone or belonging. And so this holiday season, let's bond to people while we eat food. Let's think about bonding to people while we have the delicious meals. And let's think of bonding to people when we give the gifts back and forth, and utilize those things as just vehicles for more connection to others rather than the object of our consumption. So those are some thoughts that I'm having here as we head into the holiday season here in 2023. Prayers and blessings on you all as you head into your own holiday seasons, and I look forward to talking again very soon.